Вот мы смотрим на эти ноги свисающие. Я их, скорее всего, обрежу. Я просто хотела вам оригинальный флакон показать. Ну, не для всех удовольствие. Но некоторым может и понравиться. Одного из самых натуральных, приятных запахов чистой кожи. Hi everyone, today is a fragrance video and it's one of the seasonal ones. We are going to be talking about the stuff that I'm pulling for this winter. Winter classically is a time of the year when I normally pull out heavier scents that are a little bit harder to wear in warmer weather, so cold weather scents. This year is a little bit different for me. I have a few picks that are quite a daily wear sort of fragrance. And I have a few sort of classically wintry, heavier, more dense choices. Let's start with the Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille. This I basically pick every year for the last few years. It is a tuxedo of scents and very Victor and Victoria, very feminine, masculine blend. I would say probably on the feminine side, but it smells fantastic on men, so men should check it out. Really should check it out. I like the packaging. The packaging in this case really suits the scent. Again, this tuxedo feel, this cigarette on a long cigarette holder, although without the cigarette smell, just for fashion of it all, for fabulousness, that's there. I like the design again of the bottle. It's a nice bottle design. It's really very standard for Tom Ford, and you'll find that I'll mention that for a lot of bottles this time around. It's standard, it's beautiful, it's classic, it's fine. I wouldn't say it's particularly exciting, but if you are into collecting bottles, you can have a little Tom Ford lineup that is going to look very symmetrical and like each other. Like this one a lot. This is a very generous gift from my husband for birthday, I believe, and I'm really treasuring it, and I pull for it basically every winter because who doesn't want to project Victor Victoria sort of situation? It's very in charge and sexy. Both are desirable. Next we have the Freak Scarab. This is a firm favorite, unfortunately discontinued, and saddens me. This saddens me quite a bit because it's very difficult to find, and on eBay it goes for exorbitant amounts of money, which I'm not sure it's worth. But it's a lovely, darker, mysterious, fruity floral, but really heavy emphasis on the fruit here. Fruit is hard to make elegant, and here we really are achieving these high fashion levels of taste while maintaining the playfulness and the delight of the fruity spirit of this fragrance. Very plummy, very comforting in a way. I have to say this is one of the best packaging designs that I've ever come across in perfumery. It's gorgeous and humorous at the same time, and that's hard to achieve, but that's like the highest level of design is when it's clever and cheeky yet impeccable, and here we have that. I think we have the bottle, which is very well executed. I obviously had scratched mine, and then we have this clever little tiny little scarab, little bug, gold bug on the top that's climbing up the slope, and it's just adorable and beautiful, at least to me. I'm sure not everyone would feel the same way, but I think this is an excellent design, one of the best I've seen. I am so happy to have it, and I will be very sad when it's used up. It's about a third way used up, and it's not my first bottle, but I can't really find a replacement at this point. My goodness, would I ever be happy if they re-released their perfumery? That would be great. Scarab, please give me the Scarab. It's so deliciously gorgeous. Illamasqua, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? Okay, I need a hydration break. This is getting me all riled up. All right, let's return to reality. Next piece that I wanted to talk about is actually this one. And this is one of the affordable fragrances that I am so happy to have found. It's rare that I find true gems in affordable fragrances. It doesn't even matter which category, which kind of fragrance it is, but just good quality fragrances. This is one of them. I wore the original Fantasy, and of course, you may have guessed, this is Britney Spears' Fantasy. This is the best Fantasy that I've seen released in her entire lineup, and I've tried a lot of them. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And I think this is probably the best, and it's the best interpretation of the original Fantasy. I like it more than the original Fantasy. Of course, it's not a fragrance that I wear frequently because it is very youthful, maybe a little bit juvenile, cheeky. It's very fruity, very sweet, very white chocolatey. There is a little bit of a young at heart vibe to it. And the original I do like, but I think this is just a slight step up in the direction of maturity, not bound by itself, but rather youthful and fun and uplifted, and just big hair, don't care. I think you can find that here if that's what you like, and if you really like sweet gourmands and you remember wearing Fantasy in your teens and early 20s like I do. I have done that. So that Fantasy really doesn't sit with me as well because it does create so many memories and some good ones for sure. It just, do you really want to feel like you're 18 and don't know what you're doing in life? Not all of us want to feel that again. But for me, this is not an exact interpretation of that, but close enough to keep the nostalgia, but elevated and changed enough to give me what I need out of it. So instead of the memories of, you know, buying root vegetables because that's all you can afford on your stipend scholarship thing, versus this is saving up and traveling in Europe sort of memories of being 18. So I would rather be transported over there. Best time ever. Yes. So here we have all of what Original Fantasy has to offer. If you really like gourmand, fruity scents, I think you will like this a lot. It's Fantasy but better to me. So fun times. I would like to have had a smaller bottle, but this is the only size they had, so I was happy that I tried it. I really was expecting a Fantasy dupe, and it almost is, but not completely. I also do find that the bottle is quite attractive. It's not the style of the bottle that I particularly enjoy, so it's not my taste, but it's actually really well made. It feels nice in the hand, nice and hefty, and I like the ombre. Overall, I think this is well done. Well done on the fragrance, well done on the packaging, just well done. Good job, love it. I'm not sure if it's going to be one of those things that I repurchase. This is more for nostalgia's sake. But if some of us really love nostalgia and want to be reminded of whatever time in their life a particular fragrance is tied to, and this for me is 18. Big dreams. A little bit reckless, And then we have something that is quite opposite to that. Let's talk about Coco Mademoiselle, and this is Le Prive. Let's first start with the packaging and appreciate it, because this is actually my favorite bottle that Chanel ever came out with for their Chanel line. So, you know, out of all of them that are just slightly modified, I think this is the most beautiful one. It is frosted glass with gold etching and slightly millennial pink sort of liquid inside. And I have to say that this one gives me everything I wanted out of Coco Mademoiselle, but could never have. So Coco Mademoiselle is a fragrance I really like, and I enjoy the original and all the flankers. It's something that is actually pleasant, and I'm not bothered by the fact that everybody wears it. I'm okay with it. I'm not offended by the sheer presence of other people wearing the same scent as I am. I know for some people it's a sore topic and they will not wear fragrances that are very popular because they don't want to smell like anyone else. But To me, your uniqueness does not come from how you smell. There are other things that are making you unique, and you should just wear whatever feels great for you. Coco Mademoiselle has never felt right for me, the original. It is unfortunate because, again, I do like the composition. I think it's very, well, obviously it's very successful. It's made Chanel so much money. So much money. However, there is a heavy, thick patchouli in it, and it's the kind that I cannot stand. If I was always thinking to myself, I really couldn't wear Coco Mademoiselle because of the patchouli, because it's just one of those things that it makes me gag slightly, and not in a good way. And I was thinking to myself, man, it'll never happen, but what if they released this scent that I really enjoy, this lovely, elegant, elevated floral, but without the patch? Well, my dreams had come true. At least something that happened in 2020 to the fragrance industry, and it is Coco Mademoiselle. I really like it. The Le Prive, specifically. Again, this is not the original, but it's definitely Coco Mademoiselle DNA. It is undeniably, basically, clearly Coco Mademoiselle, but without the heavy patch, and that is the change that was made. Otherwise, the structure of the fragrance is fairly similar, but it doesn't have as much longevity and tenacity to it, simply because patch gives the fragrance those qualities. This is lightweight, probably eau de toilette concentration. Doesn't say here. Eau pour la nuit. Okay, water for the night. So I would say projection-wise and wear time-wise, it's like an eau de toilette, not quite an eau de parfum. But the structure of the fragrance remains intact. It's basically exactly what I was hoping to have one day. And this is the Coco Mademoiselle that people like myself who don't like heavy patch can now wear and enjoy the really beautiful construction of the fragrance. It is a pretty floral. This is pretty lightweight. For people who have Coco Mademoiselle as their fragrance signature, those people are going to rejoice as well, because they will probably feel like it's a good summer alternative. They still smell like Coco Mademoiselle, but without the suffocation of the patchouli. So it might be good news. However, people who are like hardcore eau de parfum or nothing will probably feel like it's a bit pale in comparison. And it is. It's far less intrusive and impressive, but I can live with it in absolute harmony, and it's gorgeous. The idea behind the marketing is that this is the fragrance that you wear for the night when you're going down for your nighttime rest. Sure, I have worn it that way as well. Surprisingly, my husband is very, very clearly gearing towards sweet, gourmand, yummy, tasty. I want my wife to smell like a cookie or a cake kind of fragrances. That's just what he likes, and it's fine. It's fine with me. It's fine. We'll be fine. Everything's fine. But even he did enjoy the Coco Mademoiselle. It's a nice, elegant, perhaps satin chemise sort of idea. Now, I wore it during daytime. This is a good daytime fragrance if you don't want to be offensive, but you want to bring that little bit of elevation. Good work fragrance also because it's not poofy, it's not lighthearted. It doesn't make people necessarily go like, "Aw, how cute." It doesn't do that. But what it does do is just gathers you together just a little bit. Again, this is more of a competent fragrance, and I mean it in a good way. Sometimes competent is like a downgrade. No, competent is fantastic. If only we were all competent, we will have zero problems once that is achieved. The world will be heaven if everybody becomes competent. So certainly this is not quite the Princess Diana sort of scent, but more of a Meghan Markle sort of approach. And by Princess Diana, I mean this. Princess Diana, when she was interviewed, she had a very distinct way to present herself, and she was perceived as a people's princess. And how she presented herself is very juvenile and soft for the longest time, until close to the end of her life. But she had a specific kind of look and tilt that she would make sure she's looking up at you, and it's a submissive soft pose. And some fragrances just give me that vibe, like, oh, everything's fine and I can just relax and I'm so soft and feminine and fluid, and yes, I'll adapt and everything will be fine, and peace to the world. Sometimes that is a fantastic fragrance, but it is for me, not a work fragrance at all. This is not how I want to come across. If you're someone who faces the world as it is and does experience eat or be eaten kind of scenario, where you want to be the baddest female dog around, then I think if you want to be non-offensive about it, but you want to let people know where the alpha resides, Coco Mademoiselle Prive is pretty good for that, because it isn't intrusive and dominating, but it is definitely like know your boundaries sort of fragrance. Whereas something like Balenciaga Paris, which is one of my favorites, and it's a beautiful candied violet, lovely, soft, the world is just a pillow full of down kind of fragrance. That's the Princess Di little submissive nod. It's there. Not something that I choose to wear when facing the world, facing fragrance forward, purse first. It's not something that I choose to wear in that way, but Coco Mademoiselle, that is. Not to say that it's an abrasive fragrance, not at all. It's not I'm running you over with my tank sort of. It's more know your worth kind of scent. I just went on a very, very long tangent, and hopefully that didn't distract you and you didn't get lost in it. Let's continue. Here we have a very architectural, smart, opposites attract sort of scent, and this is Narciso Rouge, the Eau de Parfum version. It's of course presented beautifully, but it's one of those scents that is kind of very standard. The packaging is very standard for the line, which is fine. And it is very architectural. It is very clean lines, and the musk in Narciso Rodriguez is one of the most pleasant, beautiful musks that I have experienced. One of my very favorite musk formulas. So whatever they have, I hope they are keeping that magic secret, because they definitely are cashing in on that as well. They are known for their musks. So the base is a clean, minimalist, white room, white table, white porcelain vase with very abstract, clean line. Again, it's not sharp, it's very fluid, but it's definitely minimalist in the most aesthetic sort of sense. And in that white porcelain vase, with everything around being completely whited out and clean and slightly milky, not to say that the scent is milky, it's just it creates that soft, milky feeling. It's a little bit thicker than air. And in that white vase, there is a single, meaty, velvety, red and burgundy, fiery live rose that was just cut from the garden and has the green, the screaming green on a stark contrast of white. Leaves, and it has those thorns that are very sharply outlined on that, again, very clean, very minimalistic background. So this is the opposites attract. what I'm talking about here, it's like a clash of spaceship and nature. So it's this beautiful, beautiful combination, very brainy, cerebral kind of approach to a floral. Which, I mean, I'm here for it. If you are a lover of red, fleshy roses, you might appreciate Narciso with its very modern approach to what they're trying to represent here. Then we have this guy. You may or may not, knowing me and my channel, if you do, understand what is wrong with this packaging for me. So there is a pair of legs hanging off the bottle, and I haven't removed it or snipped the legs because I wanted you to see it and how ridiculous it is. And some people might find that cute. And it's very Jean-Paul Gaultier, and this is Scandal by Jean-Paul Gaultier. Otherwise, the bottle is pleasant and unremarkable, but these legs, they have to go. Ugh. Again, somebody might enjoy the little charm and it's attached very well there and you can't remove it, you have to cut it off. And otherwise the bottle is non-offensive and decent quality also. This is something that I bought in my sweet phase. Fairly recently I went through a rebirth, olfactory rebirth, where I returned to actually really liking sweet scents. And the Britney Spears was part of that frenzy. And the fragrance that really introduced me back into the sweet gourmands was the La Vie est Belle. Again, I enjoy scents that other people like, and sometimes I enjoy scents that other people don't like. This one in particular is very well constructed. So I was also kind of having my eye on honey scents, and I bought a few of them, and that was pretty successful actually. I was very happy with my picks. This is one of them. This is one of the ones I ordered because I wanted something super sweet and honey. So if there are other scents that I describe as honey scents, I usually mean that there is waxy notes in it, there is pollen, something maybe powdery or dusty. And I really enjoy that complexity. Here, however, you have the actual honey that you eat. This is a very edible fragrance. Don't eat it, but it smells like you can. This is extremely sweet. It's for those of you who like extreme sweetness. And here I'm feeling more like a sticky caramel with sticky honey kind of situation. It's all mixed up and it's just sugar. There's more sugar here than there's actually more sugar here than in La Vie est Belle, and that's basically kind of what you smell. You smell extreme sweetness, and that is actually why I like this scent. Now it's very tenacious, it projects, it's a big scent. If you want to apply 2 spritzes, that's gonna cover you. So for those kinds of occasions where you really want to make people notice you, this is going to be a good one for me. I like this for nighttime because it does air towards a suffocating kind of scent. However, when I say suffocating kind of scent, those of you who like a huge sillage and like crazy longevity will probably enjoy it. Here, longevity is medium. Sillage is good, very good projection. So if you are somebody who enjoys big sillage, and I somehow say it's suffocating, probably you will like it because you like big sillage. I don't actually like big sillage. I like good longevity with medium to small sillage so that I can modify it. This guy, it's loud. It's difficult to wear it in any kind of an elegant or demure way. It's a loud, sugary, carnival kind of scent. And I dig it. I'm here for it. I will not be repurchasing it because there's a ton of sweet scents out there, and lots of them will be tried by me. But this is very nice, but not a signature, not a repurchase worthy kind of scent. However, you know, I've just started using it, as you can see, so I'll use it more. Maybe I'll change my mind. I sometimes do, not often, but sometimes it happens. And one of the fragrances I'm going to talk about is going to be one that this happened to. I changed my mind about it. If you love honey, if you love sweetness, and if you like La Vie est Belle and you want an alternative, Scandal it's pretty good for that. It's going to be a good choice. Speaking of perfumes that I changed my mind about, this is one of them. This is Mon Guerlain. This particular flanker is all Sensuelle, or no, Sensuelle. Eau de Parfum Sensuelle. And this is a fragrance that I really didn't think was anything special when I smelt it. However, it's so well constructed and it does have this lavender spirit about it that makes it special enough to be interesting enough for me, but also wearable enough to just be an everyday go-to, reach for it sort of scent. Now, Sensuelle and the Eau de Parfum, the original, are very close to each other. After a few minutes of wear, you really will be pressed to find a difference. So to me, you can treat this as the flanker, or you can just translate all of the same things and think that I'm speaking about the Eau de Parfum. I have the Sensuelle, the Eau de Parfum, and I have the Eau de Toilette. And right now, for the winter time, I really chose the Sensuelle because it does have just a little bit more creamy, deep, gourmand base, just a touch, Again, if you have the Eau de Parfum, I don't think you need this Sensuelle. I really don't think you need it. I think it's fine. I think you'll be fine. I really don't think you are going to need both. The Eau de Parfum and also Sensuelle are very, very similar, so you certainly wouldn't be required to have both. Well, you're not required to have any of them, but the Eau de Toilette, that's a little bit different. Very, very much still that, but a little bit different. Eau Sensuelle, the presentation is lovely. The presentation is nice. Again, it's one of the ones that aren't offensive, are elegant, but aren't interesting. And a nice design, it's fine. Obviously, with Guerlain, you get pretty decent quality packaging and you have a great quality scent. Not always do you get a great quality scent. With Guerlain, I'm looking at you, recent media rights. Nah. However, here we do have deliverance on quality. I appreciate it, thank you. Thank you very much. When I initially tested it, it really seemed boring. And I can understand now still why I was willing to say that about this fragrance. However, there is a fine line between boring and really everyday, where for any time, for any occasion, this is one of those. This is one of the workhorses. I've initially confused it for boring, but now I'm taking it back. Yes, it's not the most personality centered. It's not going to knock your socks off because of its originality. It's not going to be a star, but it's one of those that I'll probably be buying over and over again because it's just easy. It's an easy pick. I reach for it fairly frequently, and for both the Sensuelle and the Eau de Parfum right now, whatever I happen to grab. This one is an extremely comfortable everyday scent that you can just wear whenever for whatever reason, which I really appreciate. This is actually my favorite category of scents. For instance, Burberry Body. Yes, it is a soapy scent, but that soapy scent is extremely wearable, very, very easy to pull off, and you don't need to be in any particular mood. You're gonna like it whatever mood you're in. It also isn't going to change your mood. So yay, big thumbs up to Mon Guerlain. Again, initially I confused being versatile and easy to wear with being boring. I'm sorry, I take it back. You're not boring. We're good, right? We're okay. Lastly, we have Musc Ravageur by Frederic Malle. A little touch of niche. I really am extremely impressed with the formula, but I haven't been wearing it very much this winter. It was a fragrance that I wore boots the house down. I really wore in the winter. I wore it a lot last winter. It was a favorite. This winter, a little bit less so. This is a skin scent for me, meaning that I enjoy it best and in very, very small amounts to where it melds and plays with my skin and delivers this beautiful, sensual, warm skin scent. That's what it does for me, and that is why I purchased it, because that's the effect I'm looking for. However, I'm not sure why I'm not wearing it more this winter. The packaging is very standard Frederic Malle, obviously, you know, beautiful, but not anything special per se. This fragrance house is one that I have utmost respect for. I wish they came around to be a little bit more affordable, or maybe selling smaller sizes that people might be able to actually buy them. But this is a gorgeous little find. Very, very close to skin sensual. You can build it up and you probably will get a pretty spicy side of it, because I don't get a ton of spice if I just use a small amount. But you can do it as a sort of a Christmas fragrance, for instance. If you build it up a little bit, it does have that spicy, wintry gingerbread cookie sort of idea, cinnamon, all of that. So really quite lovely for the winter in general. You really can wear it heavy and it'll be a Christmas scent, or you can wear it very light and it'll be a sensual, warm comfort scent. I like it, and actually it sounds really different on different people, so I would not recommend this to be a blind buy at all. This is too expensive to blind buy just to try. But it is something that can be quite remarkable on your skin, but you do have to try it because it wears super differently on different people. So these are the scents that I've selected this year. This is a little bit unusual for me. I normally go for a slightly different arsenal, and it's normally a bit heavier, a bit thicker, a bit more interesting. And this year I'm doing a lot of wearable, easy things. For example, Tobacco Vanille for me is an easy formal. Coco, Narciso, and Guerlain are really, really easy scents to wear whenever. It's just a good everyday kind of pick, and I enjoy those a lot. The Scandal is one that I'm counting as a very sweet fragrance, along with the Britney Spears. And Freak is one of the more elegant, playful things to wear, whereas Musc Ravageur is more of my skin scent. So obviously I'm really concentrating on wearability this winter for some reason, and I do have the Narciso sort of reminding me of pre-spring coming soon, hopefully as soon as possible. I am craving the sunshine. I would not mind if the winter was over and the snow was gone. That would be great. Thank you. Did you hear that? Please fix this, okay? Thanks. What are you reaching for this winter? What are you wearing? I'm always curious. Share it down below. What have you been reaching for? Are you wearing anything differently than you did a year ago when things were a little different? Tell me all about it, and have a good day. Good luck. I wish you good health and sturdiness. I have never said I wish sturdiness to someone, but I think that's what we all need. A bit of sturdiness. And good luck. See you guys later. Bye-bye.